This video is for you if you feel like you have the energy of a grandparent, but you're more in your 20s and 30s, if the mid-arvo slump feels extra slumpy for you, and if you miss just having the energy to do the things that you want to do. This is something that I have personally struggled with, so I've been researching it and looking into it a lot. And in this video, I want to share some actionable things that you can do pretty much straight away that will increase your energy. Number 1, the blueberry rule. So a lot of the processed food that we're eating leads to these big spikes in our blood sugar. And when your blood sugar is dysregulated because you're eating a lot of processed or sugary foods, it's linked to lower energy, it's linked to feelings of fatigue. One thing that you can do to stop your blood sugar from spiking so high, according to Dr. Michael Greger, is to have something healthy alongside your unhealthy. So for example, if you have a piece of white bread, your blood sugar is gonna go like this. If you have a piece of white bread along with some nut butter, your blood sugar will be a lot more calm. If you have pancakes, your blood sugar is gonna go like that. If you have pancakes with blueberries, hence the blueberry rule, your blood sugar is gonna be a lot more stable. This is just a really easy change that you can make in your day-to-day. We all eat processed food, that's the reality of life. You could drastically change your diet and cut out all processed food, but that's not realistic for most people. So instead, have something healthy alongside your unhealthy so that your blood sugar isn't going crazy, meaning your energy levels go crazy. Number 2, the protein switch. Another thing that you can do that can help is having a high protein breakfast or just high protein meals in general. So I'm talking scrambled tofu or eggs, high protein yogurts, protein pancakes, protein shakes, beans on toast, split pea soup, peanut butter, edamame. You get what I'm saying. Having a high protein breakfast helps to keep your glucose regulated throughout the day, and it just leaves you feeling fuller and generally better. Number 3, doing laps. There was a meta-analysis done by the Sports Medicine Journal where researchers looked at the results of 7 studies. These studies compared the effects of sitting versus standing on blood sugar levels, which we know are an important factor in our energy. Light walking after a meal, and I'm talking 2 to 5 minutes, had a significant impact in moderating blood sugar levels. So after any kind of meal or any kind of snack in your day, go for a 2 to 5 minute walk. And one way to do this that feels just way more low effort than walking outside is quite literally walking around your house, walking around your office, walking around the hallways of your office. Sometimes motivating yourself to actually get out the door and start walking just feels like a lot, but walking around your kitchen a few times, not so much. The next way to increase your energy consistently is to make working out easier to do and more likely to happen. The link between vitality, energy, and exercise is like very well documented. This is not news to anyone. People who work out feel better and more energized throughout their days. This video is brought to you by Copilot, which is the fitness coaching app I have been using for, I reckon, at least a year now. And since using it, I have been working out more consistently than I have worked out in my entire life. I recommend it to anyone who wants to be more consistent in their fitness journey. I have spoken about Copilot a few times on my channel. The biggest problem that it has solved for me is the bounce back. Do you know when you get into like a good habit of working out and then you have a bad week? Or maybe you go on vacation and working out just gets put on the back burner and you don't really get back to it? Having Copilot has stopped that pattern. So for example, I went to Bali. In Bali, I didn't work out as much as I wanted to. I got back and immediately I was like, okay, I know what I need to do to get back into my workout routine. And I am not the only one that reports this ability to stay consistent with Copilot. Over 75% of Copilot clients continue working out after 100 days. Copilot clients are 9 times more successful at sticking to their goals than people who use more traditional routes. Copilot is the best way to reach your fitness goals, whether your fitness goals are like me, to simply be consistent with some form of movement in your weeks, or whether you have specific strength and fitness goals. You basically get paired with a qualified fitness coach. You're gonna have a one-on-one call with them. They're gonna talk to you in depth about your fitness goals, what you want to achieve, and then they're gonna design you special, customized programs that fit your goals. With Copilot, you also get the ability to work out on your own schedule whenever you want. It's very flexible, which I love. Best of all, with Copilot, you create a connection with your coach. So my coach, Andrew, we love Andrew, is constantly encouraging me after every single workout and in between every single workout. Whenever I have a problem or something that needs to be changed, I just message Andrew, he gets it done. Click my Copilot link down in the description below or use the QR code on the screen to get 14 days for free with your own personal trainer. Click that link down in the description below or use the QR code on the screen. Manage your lights. Your body doesn't really get alarms. If the body, every time it heard an unexpected but non-urgent noise, released all of the wake-up chemicals in your body, it would be a nightmare for us all. But what your body does understand is the sunlight. So much so that seeing the sun actually triggers the release of all of the wake-up chemicals in your body. Mainly cortisol is what I'm talking about, which acts as a wake-up signal. It gets you alert and it promotes wakefulness throughout the day. It also starts the timer for melatonin to be released in your body, which is more your sleepy chemical. Chemical is not the right word here, but you get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is to create more energy throughout the day, get some sun first thing in your morning. And if you can't get yourself outside of the morning, maybe it's winter like it has just been in Australia, maybe there's just not much sun, get a big white overhead light. turn it on. The next two things that I want to talk about are more about how to manage your energy when you are feeling a little bit slumpy of an afternoon. These are things that I do personally, and they're alternatives to having a cup of coffee, which obviously mucks with your sleep when you're doing that of an arvo. Number 6, a specific pattern of breathing. So I used to have to attend a lot of meetings in my corporate job, and I would get so tired. To be clear, these meetings were meetings that I probably didn't need to be in, that had a lot of people in them. And I have so many memories of being deeply unentertained in these meetings, to the point where my eyes would be fluttering closed. I would be so tired. And the only thing that would keep me awake was deep breathing. And I really thought I was the first person to discover this. I remember sharing it with a colleague and he was like, yes, thank you. Such a good tip. As it turns out, there's an even better way to use your breath to create more energy. And it's shared by the author of the book, Just Breathe. He says, do this style of breathing for 2 minutes and see if you are not buzzing with energy and aliveness. So this is an activity to do when you've hit your little afternoon slump. Give yourself 2 to 4 short, quick, strong breaths through your nose, and then blow the breath out through pursed lips for 2 minutes. Number 7, an SDR. So this is my go-to move whenever I feel fuzzy of an afternoon, to the point where I've created a track on my intention app because I do this so much. It's also one of my most used tracks on the app. As a side note, non-sleep deep rest is just a version of yoga nidra that was popularized by Andrew Huberman. It's a very low effort, which is perfect when you're feeling low energy. You truly just need to lie down and pop on the track, and it just guides you through this really energizing practice. It feels like you've had a little shot of coffee without the side of anxiety that I get from coffee. Number 8, clear the cobwebs. Mark Forster says in his book, The Secrets of Productive People, nothing is so draining as a backlog of work, or even worse, work projects which have gotten completely stuck. These will all result in a generalized feeling of anxiety, a sort of black cloud hanging over you. The little tasks that often get put to the side are things that usually fit in the unimportant, non-urgent box. But once you've built up enough of those unimportant and non-urgent tasks that sit in the background, they really do start to hang over you. You'll find when you're doing the important things, in the back of your mind, you'll be thinking about the unimportant things, and it'll take energy away from your work, which is why a regular practice of clearing the cobwebs is an important part in maintaining your energy. A few years ago, I started doing regular life admin days, and these are days where I would brain dump all of the cobwebs, all of the things that were just hanging over me. And most of the time I just focus on little annoying things that have just been niggling at me. Every time I do one of these days, it gives me this big burst of energy and I feel more clarity and momentum. Number 9, mind management tools. I can't stop talking about them. Rumination and worry are 2 of the biggest energy drainers in your days, if you're a person who leans that way. They have a negative relation to your vitality, which is why if you don't have tools to manage your mind in place throughout your days, rumination and worry are going to just be sapping away at your energy slowly or quickly, depending on how your mind's going. One of the best books that I've ever read on social anxiety is actually a book called Dating Without Fear. And in it, the author says, getting worse is the natural progression of anxiety. The same thing goes for worry and rumination, which can be part of anxiety. If you have bad mental habits and you're not managing them, their natural progression is to get worse. I actually created a whole video about emotional regulation. This is a topic I've dived so deep on in the past probably year and a half. And I finally am like, wow, I feel like I actually have tools to manage my mind, and it's such a relief. In that video, I share some of my favorite tools. I do talk about it more in relation to productivity, but it's helpful for a whole range of things. I'll have that video linked down below. Number 10, create energy with specificity. So something I talk about in my video on how to wake up before 6 a.m. is getting really specific about what you want to do in your morning routine. Because some people are like, I want to wake up early. And I always think, but why? Specifically why? Specifically what do you want to do in your early morning times? Because it is one thing to be like, I want to wake up at 5:30 because that's a good habit. It's another thing to be like, I want to wake up at 5:30 and work on that painting that I'm really excited to finish, or to journal using that specific journaling technique that I heard in that video. It's going to be life-changing. There's just a really big difference in the energy between those intentions. And a lot of it has to do with specificity around what you want. Specificity creates clarity, and clarity creates energy. Whenever you are planning any task for your day, be super specific, break things down so that you have deep clarity around what steps need to be taken. I promise you, just doing this one thing will make it a lot easier to move through your days with weirdly more consistent energy levels. Number 11, plan getaways that actually give you energy. I did create a whole video about this some time ago now, so I won't harp on about it now, but there are certain ways of planning your getaways, your weekends away, your holidays, vacations that give you more energy than other ways of planning. You can be intentional about making sure you plan getaways that give you energy and that lead to more consistent energy levels. Number 12, energy givers. Something that I experience in my life is I'll feel like an absolute slug and then my partner will be like, do you want to go get a treat? All of a sudden, filled with energy. And this is what happens when you have a high reward task in front of you. If the reward is big enough, it will create energy inside of you. And you need to find tasks in your day that have a similar effect. Things that you are excited to do. Things that revive you in your work. Things that give you energy. And then you need to make sure that you're filling your days with a balance of these energy giving tasks alongside energy taking tasks. One of the most helpful things I like to do if I'm feeling really low in energy is being like, well, what do I want to do? Like, what's something that would be fun for me to work on right now? And immediately I'm like, oh, I have a little bit more energy because there's something fun on my plate. Don't forget to click my Copilot link down in the description or use the QR code on the screen to get 14 days free with your own personal trainer. Getting more energy in your life is definitely step one to more productive living and being able to do more of the things you want to do. But the next step is being able to manage yourself. So I talk about this in my video that I uploaded recently that I think is underrated. It's called 7 Actionable Ways to Build Self-Discipline. And I talk about the almost little rules that you need to start integrating into your days to become a more consistent and disciplined person. That video is going to be linked on the screen as well as down below. I appreciate you so much and I'll see you soon.